So it's autumn, so I have on my coziest jumper and a blanket, and I've been asked to do some autumn recommendations. So thank you once again to Michelle and also to Carter Family for asking me to film a video recommending some books based on the season. So I'm all cozy, and speaking of cozy, I have a cozy read to recommend to you first of all, and that is The Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill, which is a super short graphic novel, but it is just so cute and so heartwarming, and there's just something about sitting down, wrapped in a jumper and a blanket, maybe with a candle going, maybe with a hot drink, and reading a nice big picture book, basically. It's cute, it's adorable, it will take you less than half an hour to read. Please pick it up. In this one, we follow a blacksmith's apprentice when she finds a tea dragon and returns it to its owner, who then offers to teach her the ways of the tea dragon, which are basically little tiny dragons that grow tea, and it's incredibly adorable, and I highly recommend it for that super cozy autumn feeling. Now, there's no getting away from it. Autumn is the time where we have Halloween, and although I don't celebrate Halloween, I do appreciate that there's that sense of creepiness in the air. The days start to get shorter, the nights get longer, things get dark earlier on, and maybe we want a little bit of darkness in our reads. And so I have for you The Twisted Tree by Rachel Burge, which is about as creepy as I can handle. So this is not the channel to come to if you wanted any horror recommendations, because you won't get that here because I can't do them. But this creeped me out properly. It is a Norse-inspired story where Martha has lost the vision in one of her eyes, and so goes to Norway to visit her grandmother to try and figure out what it is that's happening to her, because along with having lost her vision in one eye, she's also now finding that when she touches people's clothes, she understands things about them. But when she arrives at her grandma's cabin in the middle of nowhere, her grandma has sadly passed away, and there's a strange boy living in her grandma's house. It's creepy, it's mystical, again, not very long, but it definitely gives you that spooky vibe that you might be looking for at this time of year. I also tend to find that during the autumn, I like to read some emotional books. So I think that it's because, at least in the UK, autumn brings with it nice crisp sunny days, but also rain and drizzle, and pathetic fallacy being what it is, it makes me want to read books that will pull at my heartstrings just a little bit. And so I have Romanov by Nadine Brands, which is a fictionalisation of the true story of the Romanov family after King Nicholas abdicates the throne and his family are put into exile and all but imprisoned before being unlawfully executed. So the fictional elements of this are the conversations that happen between the family members in the lead up to their execution, and then the events that follow. It also has some fantastical elements to it, but given the subject matter, it is a very emotional read and it really makes you think, and I really enjoyed that about this one, and I think it makes it a pretty perfect read for this time of year. Speaking of the changes to the weather, I feel like autumn is a time for atmospheric reads, and when I thought to myself, what can I recommend that's super atmospheric? The first thing that jumped to mind was Strange the Dreamer by Lani Taylor. I'm not sure you can get much more atmospheric than this. There is so much emphasis on character development and the characters experiencing the world that's around them, and I especially recommend reading this and listening to the audiobook at the same time if you can, because it really adds to the atmosphere. This book follows Laszlo Strange, who is a man obsessed with a land called Weep. It didn't always used to be called Weep, but one day whilst he was playing as a child, the original name of the land of Weep was taken from the minds of everyone, and ever since then he has been entranced with finding out the mysteries of Weep. So when an enclave comes from the city to collect various people to help them with something that's gone wrong in the city, Laszlo cannot wait to join the party. We also follow another character called Sarai, and she is a very magical character who we discover in this book and we follow very closely as the book progresses. But honestly, the main reason that this book is on the list is just how atmospheric it is, makes it just quintessentially autumn in my mind. And finally, autumn brings with it the return to school. I have just started a teaching job this year, and so I am seeing lots of students starting at university for the first time. People are also going back to school, whether it's to be a student or to be a teacher, and I think that that means that autumn is a time of discovery. People are getting their new beginnings in their new academic year and discovering things that are new about themselves that they never knew before. And the perfect bookish representation of that, in my opinion, is Starfish by Akemi Dawn Bowman, which follows a character named Kiko, who is desperate to go to an art school called Prism in New York. But when she sadly doesn't get in at the same time that her abusive uncle moves back into the family home, she has to start dealing with her depression and her anxiety and figure out what it is that she wants for her life, whilst at the same time starting to discover some of her Japanese roots. This was a super emotional read, so it fits into that category too, but predominantly we deal with Kiko discovering herself, discovering friendship, and discovering what she wants for her life. And this really fits the feeling of starting to learn more about yourself as the new academic year commences. And those are just 5 books that I think are perfect reads for the autumn. Do you have any reads that you gravitate towards in the autumn? What does autumn mean for you? It feels very different in all different sorts of places. Like I said, in England, in London, we get a lot of rain, but we also get some crisp mornings with some sunshine if we are lucky. So do let me know what it's like where you are, and if you have any bookish recommendations that go along with the feelings that you get at this time of year. But that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to see more like this from me, then do think about hitting that subscribe button, and I hope to see you here again soon. Thanks! Bye!